And deer is major in his natural environment. What do you think, buddy? Not often you see snow in the swamps here in Virginia, do you? Huh? Major leading the way. Oh, what are you doing, bud? Now there's a happy St. Bernard. He just loves the cold weather. Too bad I don't. Good gracious. All right, folks. Wanted to talk to y'all a few minutes about this fire steel. I used it a little bit when I was on my trip up in the mountains for 3 weeks, and really does a great job. And I kind of like the fact that it's sort of a self-contained package. The handle, which is plastic with this carbide striker, kind of fits up into the handle, and the guy sends it with a little piece of paracord wrapped around that thing, and I really think it's a nice little set. It's very lightweight because of the plastic, and it really does put out a good spark, as I guess y'all saw. But if not, it really does a great job. It really slings them out there. And I tell you what, I like a fire steel. It really does a great job. And when you need a fire, you know, pronto. I'm going to be feeding this fire while I'm talking to you folks. This area of the woods where I'm at, there's a lot of pine. And I'm sure you folks already know that pine burns very well, but it also burns fast. So if that's going to be the main wood in your fire, then you're going to be busy, because you're going to have to keep getting fuel to keep it going. Alright, now the other thing I wanted to talk to y'all about is another knife. Now I'm sure if you've watched some of my videos talking about knives and things, I really like the Bolo knife, and that I think has probably a lot to do with my uncle. He was a Marine in World War II, and he won a Bolo knife in a poker game, and it was a military issue Bolo, and I've done a video on that. But at any rate, he brought that knife home with him, and every single camping trip I ever went with my uncle, he had that Bolo knife, and he used it for an assortment of different tasks. And I kind of sort of fell in love with the Bolo myself, and when I was still a teenager, I got my dad to buy me one. I cut grass and, you know, did a lot of odd jobs to make enough money to go to a gun show, and they had some, and, you know, Dad helped me pick one out, and I had my very own Bolo knife. So when this came out, I was kind of excited. This is a Bark River Knives Bolo, and it's called the Grasso Bolo 2. Okay, it's the medium-sized Bolo in that series of knives. This one here has it says a 9-inch blade, but when you measure it out, it's a bit longer, about 9 1/4 inch blade, and it has a little bit more curvature than that military Bolo that I have, which almost is like blending designs of a kukri and a Bolo together. Now Mike Stewart, I actually called and talked to him on the phone. Great guy. He's the owner-operator of Bark River Knives. And Bark River Knives is sort of, I often described them as a semi-custom shop, but he says he prefers to say that he's a semi-production shop, because some of the custom knife makers may take offense. He does, him and the guys he has working with him does most of the grinding on there, but he does have, he'll send some steel out for heat treat. He sets up exactly what he likes to have done with different steels and things of that nature, but he puts the handles on them and grinds the blades. So he prefers to refer to his little outfit as a semi-production company. Now, even though they put out a good number of knives, they don't put out, you know, the numbers of knives like Buck or Gerber or K-Bar or something of that nature. And when he makes a run of knives, when they're gone, who knows when he'll make another run of those specific knives. So if you see something that he's making that you like, it kind of behooves you to go ahead and get it if you can, because when the knives are sold out, he may not make them again for another couple of years. He may turn right around and introduce another group of them that very same year. Sort of, I guess, depends on his authorized dealers and how much they order of what. So keep that in mind. Now this knife is made out of 5160 steel, and it's about 1/4 inch stock. And I tell you what, feels good in the hand. It has that weight forward feel that a bolo knife or a kukri knife, something of that nature, has. Definitely designed for chopping, and I've used that to chop up a little bit of the wood that I had here today, and I've used it a couple of times now, and I got to say that I'm very impressed with the handling of the knife. Now, Mike Stewart often uses a convex edge, and that is the case with this. One reason why I like bolos is because I think that they could be pressed into service to do a lot more things than some of the other big knives. I mean, and maybe that's because I like the knife so well that I'll make it do other things that I'm not comfortable with doing with other knives. You know, perception is a lot to do with these designs, whether it's a kukri or a bolo or a Bowie knife or whatever the case may be. If you have a lot of at stake with the knife because you like the knife, you'll make it do as much as possible. And I'm sure that has something to do with my love for bolos. But I do like the design. Now, as I said earlier, this is called the Grasso Bolo 2. There is a larger version, and I do have that version. And it's quite a substantial knife. One thing about this Grasso Bolo 2 that I like is it's a big knife, but it's not, in my opinion, too big. It's very good at chopping because of that non-parabolic sweep that it has to the spine. Weight forward design of the bolo itself. Came out of the box just super sharp, like just about every knife I've ever gotten from Bark River Knives. And all in all, just a great knife. It's been a great knife to carry through these woods here. There's some areas that are just extremely thick. And this has the weight and heft and design to hack through some of the vegetation that you run into. So really like the knife, really like the design. If you want to check this knife out, there's several sites like the Knife Connection and Knives Ship Free and DLT Trading, which I don't know what the DLT stands for. But at any rate, those three companies usually have a wide variety of Bark River knives. All right, folks, I'll let y'all look at this thing kind of up close. And I'm going to sit here and have me some hot chocolate. All right. Maybe I should put this out here. Let you see the grind a little bit. What are you doing, Major? Major's having a ball in the snow in these woods. Reverting back to his instincts, I guess. All right, here's an idea. He'll give you an idea of the thickness of the knife. All right, folks, that's the Grasso Bolo 2 by Bark River Knives.